What is up, y'all? It's your girl, Brand New, and I'm back in the building. And this time I am back with my part 3 of the Will and Jada Red Table Talk conversation that they had this past Monday. All right, you guys, so let's get off into it.
I was failing miserably.
I can't do this like this anymore. We came to the realization that we had to redefine our relationship. This is our journey to finding unconditional love. We're back at the red table with Will because episode 1 was not enough. So we're going to continue the conversation.
What was your hardest time in our marriage?
I think the turning point in our relationship for me happened when I turned 40. Mm-hmm. That's when I had a midlife crisis.
Yeah, your 40th birthday was my low point. The day after her 37th birthday, I hired a team to orchestrate her 40th birthday. I hired a documentary team. I traced Mommy's family roots. Her 40th birthday was going to be my thing.
It was going to be a splash.
It was going to be a splash. Mary J. Blige performed. I debuted the film, all of that. It was going to be the thing that lifted her out of this midlife crisis. And it was going to be my deepest, most beautiful proclamation of love. And we did it. And I had found tapes of Jada's grandmother. And her grandmother had recorded these voice messages over the last 8 months of her life.
Wow.
And it was tapes that Jada had never heard.
Wow.
So Jada had to sit there and listen. I understand thoroughly now. At the time I didn't. But she's listening to these never before heard tapes of one of the dearest people she's ever known in her life, in front of all of these people. So she's holding it together, she's getting it together. Then I have Mary J. Blige performing. The whole time I'm like,
yeah.
The little boy that wants mommy to say everything was wonderful, right? And she's having a really difficult emotional time. And then when we got back to the room, it was me, you, and mommy, and we were talking about the next day, and there were things planned for the next day, and she said, I'm not sure I want to do anything the next day. You can just cancel it. And I said, well, let's keep it, and then tomorrow you can decide. She was like, I'm telling you now, I don't want to do anything tomorrow.
Okay, so y'all pretty much heard that, and what I gathered from that was Will Smith grew up in a home watching his mother be very unhappy. Remember, he did state before that his father was abusive towards his mother. And that is what made him not want to use the cursing, the language, because he knows that that type of language can lead into them being physical with one another, and he didn't want that. So Will Smith did with what a lot of us do. We take that pain and that trauma and we say, no more. My child or my husband or my wife or the partner that I'm with, everything is going to be great. I'm going to make you so happy. You'll never be disappointed in me. You know, it's all about his ego and not him really getting to know her and what she wants out of life. Because you heard what she just said. He had all this shit planned and they carried out with it. Mary J. Blige performance and all this other shit. Then she's listening to these messages from her grandmother in front of all these people that she probably don't fucking know. That's a sacred moment that she probably wanted for herself. And he's like, oh, well, we did all that. I got more planned for tomorrow. And she's like, brother, no, I don't want no more of that. And that's what Will wanted, because Will wanted to make her happy his way. And when we act in that way with our partner, and I know all about this because I went through this in one of my relationships where somebody kept trying to buy things for me. And yes, it's nice and it's a nice gesture, but I am at a point in my life where you can't just buy things for me and then it's going to make me happy with you. I need your behavior to be loving and respectful, because if it's not, and if you don't respect my boundaries, then what do we have? Who gives a fuck about a gift? I don't care about no gift that you done bought. Well, I want you to have what I want you to have. No, buy me. I always tell people when you are buying me a gift, get me food cards. Because a sister always need to eat, and I ain't never turned down no plate, okay? Get me food cards. Get me a Walmart card. I'll purchase my own gift cards. Get me money. Just give me what I want. Don't give me what you felt like giving me. And I actually had that situation in one of my past relationships. My boyfriend wanted to get me this charm necklace. I'll never forget it. And he was like, babe, I'll get our picture of us together in the necklace, and it'll be so nice and pretty. And he's looking at me on the outside like, oh, well, she's pretty. She should like flowers. I don't like flowers. Don't buy me nothing that's gonna die. Buy me some motherfucking stocks and bonds. Do what Kanye did for Kim. Buy me shit that's gonna make me more money. Shit. Look, if we want to do it like that. Or buy me something that's going to put some food in my motherfucking stomach. I'm always gonna need that. I take gas cards. I need what I need. I don't need something that you want to get me because that's what you want. But me and this ex-boyfriend, we went back and forth, and my best friend simply told him, she said, dude, you are with a girl that rocks Air Force Ones. She doesn't care about heels. She doesn't care about dainty, pretty things. And yes, I am a girl that likes, I'm a girly girl. I'm not gonna lie, but I've always had that girly girl tomboy side. So yeah, he just kept on with that. And she was like, buy that girl some Air Force Ones, and I'm telling you, she'll be so in love with you for just getting her what she wants. He did that, and it was a hit. And he was like, babe, I should have just listened to you. But that's what happens when we don't listen. We keep trying to get people what we want them to have instead of giving them what they actually want or actually need.
And wants mommy to say everything was wonderful, right? And she's having a really difficult emotional time. And then when we got back to the room, it was me, you, and mommy, and we were talking about the next day, and there were things planned for the next day, and she said, I'm not sure I want to do anything the next day. You can just cancel it. And I said, well, let's keep it, and then tomorrow you can decide. She was like, I'm telling you now, I don't want to do anything tomorrow. And I said, well, it's okay. We'll just wait and see.
I just wanted to have intimate time.
Just intimate time. And I was like, well, I'll cancel tomorrow. She was like, it's my birthday. Right? And she's told me that the party was the most ridiculous display of my ego. Crushed. Right? And to this day, I know I was crushed because it was true. Yeah. It wasn't a party for her. Yeah. And when she called me on that, that's when I snapped. And I'm sorry, that was the only time you ever heard me snap.
Thank God.
And listen, and I snapped in front of Willow. It was the only time in her childhood she ever saw me snap. And I saw her look, and Willow starts crying. And I was like, baby, I'm sorry. She's like, just figure it out. You guys, please just figure it out. Just figure it out. Right? And I was like...
Look, once again, out of the mouth of babes. That damn Willow is so... Wow. Very intuitive. They have did such a good job with her and the rest of the children as well. I love me some Willow, because Willow set their ass straight, child.
And that was a display, that moment of like me having the courage to just say no.
No, yeah.
But now I had to have the courage to unravel it and just realizing this next 40, I got to do it my way. This next half has to be directed by my picture for myself.
I have to say that when you guys were going through that transition, I was like, what the hell?
Right.
Because everything was just changing.
Yeah.
Well, Yeah, but I didn't know there was a need for change.
There was so much that wasn't me that I was living.
Yeah.
So much inauthenticity. I do think that there are a lot more people living lives that aren't true.
Aren't true. That is
to
so
them
painful.
because of their fear. So I understand, and there's no judgment. I did it.
Right. And
You
was
know.
some of that what you felt like you had to present yourself to the public?
I was much more conscious of public perception than Jada.
And let's just stop it right there. I told you all, I've been following Jada since, Different World, Menace to Society, all her little Inkwell, all her little movies she used to do back in the day, Low Down Dirty Shame. Always was a big fan of Will. Will, if I am not mistaken, is the extroverted one. Extroverted people love doing things outdoors, love new adventures, love just trying all new things. That really gives them life. Jada is a lot like myself, where we are reflective, where we want to do things with intention. Like there has to be a reason for why we do things. And they're gonna bring that up later on in the program about how different they are. But I noticed that about them, and I also noticed Jada is a little bit more hood than Will, if you guys notice, like from her being on Different World and knowing Tupac and being really close with him and, other people like him. And then you have Will Smith, and Will can get hood too, don't get me wrong, but he's definitely more, I don't know. He gives me like people pleaser tease. I want everybody to like me. I want the public to think that we have this perfect relationship and everything's perfect. Because you got to remember, he's killing it on the charts as a rapper. He's like one of our first pioneer rappers, if y'all did not know. Very successful at that. Very successful Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He was a very good actor, period. Like, Pursuit of Happiness is probably one of my favorite Will Smith movies. I like that. Made in America, Men in Black. Like, I love a lot of his shit. But he's accomplished. It is what it is. And so I can't get mad at Will for wanting a successful family. But at the same time, I think he learned to turn his ego off and turn his heart on and say, you know what, I'm with this woman. I need to accept her for who she is and the things that she wants out of life, because like I said, I followed both of their careers, and I saw a period when Jada had them children and she had stopped acting. She wasn't Jada really anymore. It was like she had kind of died. Like it was weird, because Jada had always did movies, Different World. In the 90s, it was movie after movie after movie. Jason's Lyric is one of my favorites she was in. Set It Off. Like, she did movie after movie after movie. Like, that is the career that we are used to Jada having. So once she got with him, in my opinion, for a while, she became Will Smith's wife, and that was it. You almost forgot about Inkwell, Menace to Society, all the other things that she had did, before their whole relationship really took off. So I just love how they break all this down and they tell us the point that they got to in their life, where they needed to make a change, because she felt like she wasn't living her best life because she wasn't really being herself and doing the things she wanted to do. Now, once she began doing Hawthorne, which is one of my good shows, y'all need to bring motherfucking Hawthorne back, okay? I'm sick of y'all taking the good shit off and keeping the bullshit on, okay? If goddamn Keeping Up with the goddamn Kardashians can last for 20 years, can we get some black shows that last just as well? And Hawthorne wasn't even completely black. So, but it was a good ass show nonetheless. So bring that shit on back. Y'all stop fucking around. Okay? But, I really love Will and Jada. In order to understand the Smiths, you have to be a spiritual person. I am a very spiritual person. I listen to Eckhart Tolle, who is a spiritual teacher, Carolyn Myss, Alan Watts, who was a spiritual philosopher for back in the day. So and I'm not saying you have to read the books I read or know these people, but you have to be in that realm of understanding things. And a lot of these people, you guys on YouTube, I listen to their reviews because I try to listen to other people to get their perspective, and a lot of people did not cover them well because it was so much of, well, I don't understand it, and I'm married, and they look at everything in a traditional way. Everything is not about tradition all the fucking time. You don't know how many times I've been told, well, you don't go to church, and I used to go to church. I stopped going because it stopped serving a purpose in my life, and I'm not fake. I love my spirituality. I love my Eckhart Tolle. You know, I meditate. I listen to my boy Joseph Rodriguez and his audio books. Y'all check out my boy Joseph Rodriguez on YouTube. He has great audio books where he breaks down different books on life, money, spirituality, looking at things. Like, if you want to be successful in life, you have to train your mind. A lot of people don't do that. They just do things because Big Mama did it or Big Daddy did it. And this is what we've always did. So my mama got married, so I'm going to get married. And, I'm not that type of person. I know I'm far from being traditional. That's why I understand them. I shared some years ago with people I didn't want to be married. Well, what's the purpose of being in your relationship if you don't want to be married? And why does marriage have to be the end all be all? It has nothing but all these rules. Somebody's going to break them. Somebody's going to get hurt. You're going to get a divorce. It's going to become about money. It's going to get ugly. And that's that. How many times y'all need to keep seeing this shit? And I'm not sitting up here saying that everybody has this positive marriage. No, nobody has the perfect relationship. If marriage is for you, then it's for you. But don't you dare look this way and say, oh, because I'm not married, I'm wasting my time. No, I've chosen to be in the type of relationship that I want to be in, where I have my space, he has his space, and we are two companions getting to know one another, loving each other. We could spend days together, but maybe we don't traditionally live together every day or share paperwork. Like, we don't need to do that. We will share what we want to share. And that's what Will and Jada was talking about, the confines of marriage and how they try to put up this persona of, oh, they are this perfect married couple. And a lot of people felt that the interview was vague between them. Yes, it was vague. But I take that as everything is not y'all motherfucking business. And it ain't my business. They are here to talk about their experience with one another. But I'm not going to sit up here and say, well, oh, they're swingers. Oh, they did. My mind never did any of that. It never said, oh, well, Will's allowed to have a girlfriend. Now, when I checked out these other YouTubers, they went into the mess. They went right into the mess. You want to know why? Because ain't shit about them spiritual. They don't have an understanding that everybody doesn't do things the same way. They just think that, well, if they don't want to be married, then why did they ever get married? And that could never work for me and my husband. No, because when you and your husband get off into it and he cheat on you, I bet you it's just over. I bet you don't try to find out why he cheated. You don't try to find out why you haven't did certain things you need to do in a relationship to improve. And, you're not really, people, when they get in relationships, they have all these expectations, and then as soon as they are disappointed, they want to leave the relationship. That is not having a spiritual partnership, and that's all I've ever wanted. Having a spiritual partnership is about getting to know each other and what each other needs and providing that. So let's continue on with this conversation with Will and Jada.
Yeah.
Right? There was an idea.
I think I was trying to live up to an idea for him.
Right. I got some pictures. I was crying so hard after your birthday that my eyes would look so red. I took pictures of myself and I was like, I want to remember this. Mm-hmm. That was a difficult one for me. Yeah. When you stopped clapping when I did things in the exterior world that were great. Willow really broke it for me with Whip My Hair. In the middle of all the Whip My Hair stuff, she was on tour and it was a great show and everything was amazing. It was we were at the top of the world. Whip My Hair, it's playing Jay-Z's side, it's beautiful. And she was like, okay, I'm done, Daddy. And I was like, sweetie, you can't be done. You know, you made a commitment. She was like, but I'm finished. I was like, I know, sweetie, but you can't be finished. You made a commitment to Mr. Jay-Z. He said, no, Daddy, you made a commitment to Mr. Jay-Z.
Wait, did I really say that?
Yes. You were like, Daddy, it doesn't matter that I'm done?
Ooh.
Yes, sweetie, it matters a lot. It does, but you can't be done. She came down the next day and had shaved her head bald. I was like, does she know what she's doing? Like, that was a deep protest.
Yep.
What it did for me is I had a crazy realization in that moment. I was building what I wanted for her. And she tried all of the different ways to say, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I was like, I get it. And I saw for the first time what Jada had been saying the whole time about hiding behind my ego and my dreams and my desires and pretending like it's love. And I realized she didn't want none of the stuff I had built. The house was too big. It was always too many people here. She didn't want to have to travel the way we traveled. She didn't want all of her kids to be getting trolled on Twitter. Like, she didn't want any of that.
And that's why I stopped clapping. And it was a decline from there.
Yeah, to have to let go of the picture.
Yeah.
To have to let go of the dream was devastating. We essentially had to destroy our marriage.
Oh, yeah.
She was like, I can't do this anymore. And to me, it was over. But divorce was never even an option.
I was like, wait a minute, hold it. No.
Like when I was reading in the tabloids that we were getting divorced and all of that stuff. And it was like, it was never even
I've never even seen a divorce lawyer.
Right.
It's like, that was never.
It was never even a consideration.
My mind.
But was it for you?
Because I had been divorced before, I wasn't getting divorced again.
Right.
Okay.
Like, so divorce wasn't an option. There was a time when I was scared that she might.
Well, I'm going to tell you like this. I put in too much.
Yeah.
Period. What is most important to me is my family.
You would think about the kids.
I was thinking about our family, not even just our immediate nucleus, but we have such a huge extended family.
Exactly.
And I knew that divorce wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
Why do that? Why create all that disruption? But I told Will from the gate, I said, let me tell you something. If you marry me, know this. We're going to be together. We're going to be under the same roof. You might be on one end of that joker with somebody else. And I might be on one of this joker with somebody else.
Yeah.
And I always said, that's ridiculous.
But we're going to be in this joker together.
Yeah.
So
that's what we are going to do. That's not what either of us wants. But I don't want to leave this table making people feel like divorce is wrong. Sometimes that is what you need for whatever you need to discover about your situation and yourself.
Absolutely.
Right? But for me personally, I knew that there was no reason that he and I would ever. We just needed to get to agreement between he and I.
Yeah.
I really love what she was talking about as far as instead of breaking up, because let's be honest, you guys, we live in the breakup culture, just get rid of that motherfucker. And of course, if you are in an abusive relationship, emotionally, physically, of course, leave. This is not what that is. Leaving a relationship and just getting a divorce, it's not always necessary. Sometimes you have to redefine the relationship the way that Will and Jada did, with boundaries, and just simply let that person know, hey, I want to do this on Sundays. I don't want to go to church with you. I want to sit up and listen to Oprah's Super Soul Sunday on TV and listen to a spiritual teacher. And as a matter of fact, in my relationship, my boyfriend actually is the one that prefers to go to church. In the beginning of our relationship, had him listening to my spiritual teachers. And for the most part, it looked as if he enjoyed it. And after a while, he told me, he said, babe, I really like it. You know, when I go to church sometimes, that's what helps give me what I need. And I had a hard time with it. I'm not going to lie. And it wasn't because I wanted to force what I was doing on him. It just, I wanted us to share spirituality together. But he said, but babe, it's not my thing the way it's your thing. He said, I'm willing to listen to it. And some of what they're saying, it does sound true. I just have to go to church. That is what I do. And he has did that throughout this relationship. He may get up and go to church on a certain day, or, you know, and I have nothing but love and respect for it. I may be at the house meditating, listening to Carolyn Miss, Alan Watts, Wayne Dyer, Deepak Chopra. You know, I may be in my own little world, and that's right there. That's what love is. Letting the other be the other, letting them have their own experience, not saying, well, you know we're together, and you know that you owe it to me to, you know, listen to Carolyn Miss, and you owe it to me to listen to, because I'm your woman and I'm this, and that is what most people do in relationships. They begin with the guilt trips. Oh, because we're together and you said that you would do it and it has to be my way. What if I was like that? We wouldn't be together. We wouldn't be together. So I had to accept what he said with love. If I really love this man, I could get over that and redefine our relationship. But I'm sure when we get with other people, oh, y'all don't go to the same church. Oh, she out here sinning and you in the church, and girl, that ain't gonna work. Y'all gonna go your own ways. No, we decide he will go that way, I will go this way, but we can always go certain ways together. There are certain things we will always do together because we both enjoy them.
I was devastated, even worse than a divorce. We broke up within our marriage and got back together again.
Right. Yeah. I had to rebuild.
I had to rebuild with new rules and
something way different.
Something way completely different.
The thing about it is that you really have to go your separate ways to figure out your stuff.
Yeah.
You got to be strong enough and understand clearly what it is you're in search for. You know, what it is you want, what it is you don't want. Because that whole time when you're in a union, you're pointing fingers because you're thinking it's your partner.
Yeah.
Because you guys are so
it's
close.
Her fault. This house is great.
Right, exactly.
This house is great. This family is great.
He put me in a golden cage. You know what I mean? Right. And so you have to get
and you're like, I built this for her and she don't even
appreciate it. Yeah. A golden cage? This is a beautiful cage.
But you have to go your separate ways and get out of each other's way to really see yourself. So I had to go away, gain my strength as Jada again. Yeah. Not mommy, not wife.
Right.
Jada, Corinne.
Yes, now that's the big one.
That's the big one.
People say it all the time, I have to find myself. Yo, that's real.
That's real talk.
That's real talk, right? I took off for 2 years.
Yeah.
I worked on myself. I've read 50 books on marriage and relationships and behavioral psychology. I was not going to fail in this marriage, right? But I shut down for 2 entire years to see what was I doing wrong.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of beating up on each other because really what you're breaking down is all the fantasies.
Yeah,
Right.
you're burning away all of your fantasies.
Yeah, because that fantasy starts so young.
Yes.
Yes.
And you
Yeah.
hold on to that for dear life because that's all you know.
Right. Ultimately, to have a successful relationship, you have to be in a relationship with a human being.
Yeah,
Right.
You
an
know?
imperfect, flawed human being. Because what happened was our characters were trying to have a relationship. And if you're going to wear a mask, then the person's trying to love your mask, right? They're trying to love the image that you're presenting, but that's not what you really need.
Right.
What you really come to understand that there's no right or wrong.
Yeah.
Everybody's operating from a place of hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Everybody's
saying?
broken.
Everybody's broken. And what I realized, the idea that my brokenness created all of my discomfort.
Absolutely. Mine too. The fact that I was broken and I learned how to look fixed to the world.
Right.
Right.
Will Smith is a character. Right? But deep down inside, I was an insecure little boy that wanted Jada to say I was great. Right? And if she didn't say I was great, the dragon came out.
And that's what a lot of people do in relationships. A lot of men, if that woman is not clapping hard for them and, praising them for every fucking thing that they're doing, because there are some people in relationships like that. They need all these props for all the things that they are doing. And if they don't get it, they'll cheat on their mate. They'll go flirt with somebody else. They'll get it somewhere else. And then make the situation worse instead of looking within. And that is what these people are talking about. Being a whole person. Not finding yourself because you are in a relationship. Because you're not going to find who you are in a relationship. And I always thought that. Like growing up, I always thought, once I get in a relationship, my shit is going to be together and things are going to happen. For like growing up, I think in my teenage years, that is what I thought. And it took my mid to late 20s to realize, can't no man really make me happy. Yes, men have did nice things for me. Nobody can make me happy. Only I can search for my own happiness. Only I can create my own happiness. I have to decide what is important to me, what's not important. When you are clear about who you are, then you don't do things to please other people. And that's what people do when they don't know who they are. They will go and just cheat on their mate and not examine why they did what they did. It'll just be, it was my mate's fault. My mate is the one that made me do. No, you did it because you wanted to control the relationship in some type of way. But
for me personally, I had a lot of emotional maturity to do.
Yes.
I had just realized I had a lot of childhood traumas that I had brought with me that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah.
A lot of father issues. And, I realized that I had to learn to be a lot of things for myself.
Yeah.
Because I used to think, well, if you don't need somebody, then you can't love them.
Right, exactly.
And if you're not needed, then you're not loved. That was a false belief I had. I can't expect someone to love me more than me. If you don't like being with you, what the hell makes you think somebody else wants to be with you?
Yes, exactly.
If you don't love yourself,
Right. That's real
we
talk.
expect people to love us more than we love ourselves. We expect other people to do the work for us.
Yeah.
And those type of people, you guys are in these codependent relationships. They don't even know the relationship is codependent. And I know I may joke about it from time to time and say, that person want their spouse to go to the damn bathroom with them. I make my little jokes, but it's very serious. There are couples that can't go a day without talking to each other. There are couples that can't go a day without having sex and working with each other and having to be all upon each other. And there are going to be a lot of people that say, they just really love each other and they have a lot in common, and give me a fucking break. give me a break. I love my child dearly, but sometimes I need a break from her ass. And I need to be grown woman Brandy, focusing on grown woman shit. I don't want to be on no child type shit. You know, I want to do my thing. Does that mean I don't love my daughter? Not at all. I adore her. I try to instill in my daughter to focus on the things in life that you are interested in, and she has did that. And I feel like, hey, I didn't did my part. I already told you what to do, and you did it. I didn't force. She became who she was, you know, making her little bracelets and braiding hair and French braid, all at 10. Because I let that child do her thing. That's what free time does. She's not stuffed in every after school program. If she was, she probably wouldn't have those creative skills. There are many people that will try to make it look like, oh, you're not married, so I'm not going to take no relationship advice from you. Who the fuck are you? You're not even married. You didn't come together in front of God as man and wife. And, you know, and a lot of these people that feel like they have to be married and they must have, you know, this mate in their life to fulfill their life. Once that dream comes crashing down, because I know of this guy in particular that feels like marriage is just the nucleus of life. It is just where love is born. It is just the reason for living if you're not married. But turns out this same man was married 3 and 4 times. So motherfucker, you done felt that way 3 and 4 times. Okay? So I can't listen to you or take advice from you. You know, these people are not clear, you all. They are living in a traditional mind state, and they don't want to come out of that mind state.
I definitely went through that with Will.
Yeah.
I thought it was his job to make me feel a certain way.
Absolutely.
I had to break that fantasy.
Yeah.
I actually retired. I said, Jada, you know what? I retired. I am no longer doing the job of trying to make you happy. You know what? You are free to go make yourself happy, and you do anything.
Yeah.
Anything you want to make yourself happy, and you bring your ass back here happy just to show me that it's even possible.
Yep.
Fly, Pelican.
Fly, Pelican.
Okay, you all, let's get ready to wrap this show up.
The beautiful rumors that'll now stir up in the media.
Oh, it's going to be a mess.
You know what? Before they even got to this part, I was just like, it's so many motherfucking people on YouTube that's about to fuck this up, say that these people ain't really married, they don't really love each other, why don't they just leave? Does Will Smith have a girlfriend? I know that Jada is with August Alsina. I just know, like, you have so many people, and when I tell you, you guys, I don't know if y'all believe me or not, but I'm going to just speak from the heart and from the hip, honey. A lot of these people on YouTube, they don't have a fucking clue about the reality of spirituality. They just look at things, like I said before, in a traditional way. They are unwilling to open their mind and to see that Jada is a whole woman on her own. Will is his own person. They have come together, built a beautiful family, career, and life. And they are creating something beautiful. But no, you will have people reporting this shit as, oh, they shit is over and they are swingers. And like they are getting ready to say, people go believe whatever the fuck they want to believe. I don't listen to that stupid shit because I already know what type of people these people are. I know them. Look, hell, consider myself one of them. For real. I know them all too well. Like, for real, I understand this shit.
All right, so hold on. Let's clear some rumors.
People really annoy me.
No, it's not possible. But just to have it on record, just think historical rumors. We've never been Scientologists.
True.
Okay, what else?
We've never been swingers.
Never been swingers.
Never been swingers.
And people understood that that's a specific lifestyle.
That's a really specific slide. We've never been swingers. What else, Cam? What they gonna say? It's really your friends that we worried about.
You shouldn't be worried about anybody at all at the end of the day, because people are gonna believe whatever they want to believe.
Yeah,
that's
and who
right.
knows if it might change and transition again.
Yeah. You know why I never got divorced?
It's cheaper to keep me.
No.
I can't believe it. Oh my goodness.
Because I've never met anybody like you, and I knew if I wasn't with you, I'd be searching in vain for the rest of my life.
Aw, that is so sweet. Will is just so, isn't he the best? Can we clone his ass? Like, please.
Aw,
Willard. See, sometimes he says the right thing.
The truth.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate you, and I just want to say thank you for everything.
Oh, thank you.
We love you.
I love you to death.
You have found something with this red table and in this space that I tried my damnedest to build for you.
Right.
The space where you get to fully and honestly and thoroughly be you, and to get all of the love and the praise that you deserve. When I see you on this red table, it is the joy that I have always hoped you would have.
Thank you.
Come here, Bean.
These people are amazing. I love them both. I've always loved me some Jada, not just because of her being an actress, but just of who she is and what she stands for. Like, she has a beautiful personality. I feel the same way about Will. He's amazing. And I wish more of our black men would be in tune with their feelings and be honest about operating from the position of ego, because a lot of men wouldn't even admit all of this. So that is my time, you all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It is your girl Brand New, and I am out.